Hello everybody! Thank you so much for the awesome response to the last video. I haven't posted in over a year, and so I was quite surprised that when I posted it on Facebook it reached over 2,000 people without, pushing it or paying for the post to have more reach. And I think that being open and being vulnerable is something that people struggle with, especially with the world in the state that it is today, and to be realistic, that it has always been like that. I don't think that there are more horrible stuff. There is more horrible stuff happening now than earlier in periods of the world. It's just that it isn't as... We're so connected right now, communication-wise, with Facebook and the news and everything, that things that happened earlier, with like 200, 300 years ago, weren't as communicated. They weren't as noticed. If you were living in Africa at the time, it would have been very, very hard to know in Europe if something there happened. But with that said, there is always within my life the focus on what is the inner world. Has always been like that. So when I look out in the world and I begin to judge, and I begin to fear, and I begin to close myself off because I think it's not a safe place to be, I limit myself, and I know that I'm not really connected to who I am. And if you know anything about what I'm talking about, you might somehow have already stumbled over Baron Katie or Eckhart Tolle or well, my favorite master or guru or whatever, the one who helps me the most right now is Moji, the Jamaican guy he's funny and he makes me laugh, although, and his pointing is so simple to follow that it's just not hard. It doesn't take a lot to get where he's pointing to. I will link some of his best videos in the description below, or recommend something up here in, or is it here? I don't know, there's the info box somewhere. What I wanted to say, and what the point of this rambling and stream of thoughts is that whatever happens out there, don't get swept away by the news. So even with Orlando right now, if I go onto Facebook, my whole timeline is filled with posts that are filled with compassion, which is good. And on the other side, it creates a lot of fear. And media is always fear-based, so it's really important not to get lost within the judgment of the judgment of the judgment, and judging what's good and what's bad. And like, we don't know anything. We don't know what the truth is. We don't know why this happens, and all we can do is learn from it. And what's there to learn? I'm not even saying that it's something to do that you have to do in the real world, like stop gun violence, which of course is good, but it's not, it points to somewhere. It points that people are lost in the world, that they actually have such strong opinions, and strong opinions make a strong character, and the strong character makes a strong person. And a person is somebody who is very identified and very dense with their opinions. And they create emotions, and people don't know how to handle these emotions. And then you have these sorts of things happening, and there's lots of chaos and suffering inflicted by having strong opinions. So what I can ask you, or the only thing I can ask you, is to stay open and to realize what all the news and all this does with you. Like, does it open you up? Does it create more hope? Or do you close down and become bitter and more judgmental and fearful and do not trust anybody out there because the fear of being judged? So what I can Suki's singing in the background. The only thing that I can point to is to ask you not to get too much emotionally involved in this. Like, if there is pain and if there's something coming up within you from the whole topic, like the media, look inside. Who is it touching? Who is hurting? Who is suffering? Like, really the facet of it. Who is it? Can you name it? Can you feel it? Can you touch it? Can you bring it to your attention? Where is it? Is it a feeling in the body? And it passes. It will pass, I promise you. But you have to find the one thing that is constant, which is you. But who are you? And maybe that's my little pointing from the whole satsangs that I've been sitting in for the last weeks, is to constantly come back to the one question is, who are you? And if you have answered that question, and I don't mean personality, I don't mean, oh, I am Natalie, which is my name, but if I lose my memory, who am I? Like, I don't remember my name. Am I my name? Am I my gender? Am I my hair color? Who am I? Am I this body? And am I my thoughts? Am I my mind? Am I my emotions? There are so many things to look into, and these are the questions you have to answer first before you go out there and try to find truth in a world that will only serve you more chaos if you're not rooted in your own being. So this is how I handle media, is I try to stay away from it as much as possible, because it is fear-based and it will just drive my mind crazy. But if I stumble over something that is really upsetting me, there's a lot of introspection to be done. So maybe that's helpful for you, and talk to you soon. Bye.